I pull up, roll the window down it. I pull up, roll the window down it. Yeah, I pull up, roll the window down it.
Baby, you don't know what you do to me. Between me and you, I feel like chemistry. I won't let no one come and take your place. Cause the love you give, you can't be replaced. That's why I spend my life.
Hi, hotties, kettles, tea stirrers. You're here for hot tea. All commentary is alleged, and in my opinion, this is for entertainment purposes only. So we all know that Evanko, Canvas Beauty ex-COO, has now proceeded with a lawsuit against Nostradamus, Stormy Steele, her husband, Courtney Steele, Pork Belly, and Canvas Beauty LLC, Canvas Beauty Brands LLC. So we have to talk about it. Now, you guys know that I want to break down the lawsuit. So I haven't read the lawsuit in totality. You guys can visit Chef Dun Dun and Trending's channel for that because they have read the documents in totality. I've watched both of their channels, and that's where I got these documents that we're going to be talking about. So I took a screenshot from Chef Dun Dun's YouTube channel because he did a live late last night discussing the entire case. So I recommend you guys head over there to check this out. In the first part of my breakdown, I spoke about one of Cal's claims that Nostradamus shared his personal financial information with third parties. And I assume that that is a blogger over here on YouTube, but I cannot confirm or deny that. That is just what I assume, and that's my theory. In this video, I want to talk about Nostradamus' bookkeeping and her excessive spending because that is one of the claims that Cal put in his court documents that I thought was interesting because I've already did a video on my theory of Nostradamus and how as soon as she saw $1.1 million in that first live, she took that as a means to start spending, not taking into account everything she had to pay back without realizing that's not actually $1.1 million pocketed, but more like $600,000. And I know people was saying I was pocket watching, but really I'm just breaking down this entire lawsuit. Stormy was never really an 8-figure earner, but I'm not saying that wasn't her net worth. Now, I believe Evanko played a huge role in the growth of Canvas Beauty because we've seen Nostradamus say out of her own mouth what her sales were and how much that they have grown. And if you take a look on her Instagram, you start to see a lot of financial changes as Cal came into her group. You start to see her more on TikTok. You start to see her producing more products, etc. And by more products, I'm meaning the body glaze product because she at first was pushing a lot of her hair care products. And if you go on her Instagram, you would notice she didn't start pushing her body glaze products until Cal came on her team. And I'm assuming that was when the whole 2.0 thing came about. Now, in part of the court documents, number 28 in the claims, it states on June 8th, 2024, CBB, which is Canvas Beauty Brands, held a history-making, record-breaking live stream at TikTok selling over 1 million of products in a single live stream. It stated with 8 figures of profit in the bank, Mr. Evanko and Mrs. Steele once again declared a profit distribution on July the 3rd, 2024. The distribution was made as follows: $5 million for Mrs. Steele and $2 million for Mr. Evanko. Now, I'm just basically summing it down, but it's $5.1 million for Stormy and $2.4 million for Mr. Evanko. To Mr. Evanko through his ownership equity. The profit distribution percentages reflected the exact 70-30 profit split that the parties agreed to, continuously abided by, and that Mrs. Steele herself reaffirmed numerous times in writing. Mrs. Steele distribution was technically only 68% because her distribution was adjusted to pay back CBB for accounts that Mrs. Steele used for her personal expenditures from the company's account. Upon information and belief, Mrs. Steele habitual misappropriation company funds for her personal uses. It also states in number 30, Mr. Evanko and Mrs. Steele agreed to retain approximately $5 million of profits in the CBB bank accounts rather than take a large distribution on July 3rd, 2024. So it also states in number 36, upon information and belief, Mrs. Steele continuously misappropriated company funds for extravagant personal use, including an all expenses paid vacation to Miami with bottle services at a nightclub and a boat, and even Mrs. Steele's personal home expenses. Upon information and belief, Mrs. Steele had converted to her own use money rightfully belonging to plaintiffs in the form of the company's profits and has unjustly enriched herself at the plaintiff's expense. Upon information and belief, Mrs. Steele has used and continues to use company funds that in part or in whole are the rightful property of plaintiffs for Mrs. Steele's personal expense. It also states on 38 that on July 18, 2028, Mrs. Steele approached Mr. Evanko about securing a 409A valuation performed on the canvas defendants. The 409A valuation would be the mechanism to determine the enterprise value of the business. Upon information and belief, Mrs. Steele either on her own or through discussion with a third party estimated the business to have valued over $100 million. So those are some of the claims in Mr. Evanko's court documents, and I want y'all to get in the comment section and let me know your thoughts and opinions on that alone, but also get in the comment section and let me know how you feel about me breaking the actual court documents down with proof, because that is what we're about to get into next. So Mr. Evanko is claiming that Nostradamus is misappropriating the funds. Now, I've already told you guys something didn't sit right. Every single time she made big in her TikTok live streams, she would immediately go out and make a unnecessary purchase, i.e. a damn boat. And I've already told you guys that a boat is literally the worst investment you can make, especially when you're not a reoccurring fucking billionaire, because even millionaires shouldn't invest in a boat. But that being said, she made $1.1 million on a live stream, and she immediately went out and bought her husband a boat. Now, this could be her husband misappropriating her funds. This could be her husband influencing her in a bad, negative light, because it was also said that Stormy Nostradamus did not tell her husband that she had agreed to do a 30-70 split with Mr. Evanko. So he eventually found out, and that created issues within their marriage. But we're going to talk about that in a separate video, because you guys know I want to break down everything completely in totality, because I think that there are some things that people might forget, and I want to be able to clip it together and piece it together. And I believe that there was a time frame in which all of this started to show on the internet, and that is basically what we're doing. So I showed you guys clips of Nostradamus misappropriating the funds in the clubs, in the spending, because those are some of the things that Cal spoke about in his court documents. The fact that she had paid for an all-inclusive trip, the fact that she had bottle services at clubs. Those things were very triggering for him, I'm sure, because he is a numbers man from my understanding and from what it looks like, and he knows that she doesn't necessarily have that money to spend, and that is money that they should be using for profit. I'm sorry, money that they shouldn't be using for profit. So I believe Cal 100%. I want y'all to get in the comment section and let me know what you guys think. But at the end of this video, you guys are also going to see Nostradamus misappropriating funds, because she just went and got a breast reduction surgery, I'm sure out of Cal's money that she owes that man. She also went and celebrated in Miami, and she bought the Tesla truck. So this is just the proof to line up what it is that Cal has already claimed in his court documents. I'm probably
gonna just do a trip for my birthday and call it a wrap. And then I'm gonna be down for 2 weeks. In August the 15th, I go get I go get a breast reduction and a lift in LA, and I'm gonna be laying down for 2 weeks. Child, it's time. I'm not having another baby, but I am doing a surrogate. Can y'all can't hear me? I told y'all my phone over here glitching now. I'm not having another baby, but I'm gonna do a surrogate.
Happy Mother's Day.
Oh my God. Y'all, my damn jaw was on the floor. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's the fact that he got my dream truck less than a month after I said I loved it. Like, how somebody said this your last season? Oh, yes, ma'am. Congrats.
Yeah. I pull up, roll the window down it. I pull up, roll the window down it. Yeah. I pull up, roll the window down it.
Baby, you don't know what you do to me. Between me